In the book of Jude, we read about Michael the archangel disputing with the devil. And it says that Michael dared not bring a railing accusation against Satan. Now, an angel has no power of his own. The only power angels have is that power which God gives. If Michael the archangel was acting according to the direction of God, he would have all the power he needed. When it says that Michael the archangel dared not to bring a railing accusation against Satan, it was not because Michael was afraid of Satan. What Michael was afraid of was God. For if Michael had brought a railing accusation against Satan, Michael would have been doing the same thing that Eve did in the Garden of Eden. He would have been following his own mind as to what should be done with the devil. But you see, God has the power. And if Satan can do something, it is only because God has allowed him to. It is only because God has ordained Satan to have that power. Satan can have no power of his own, but can only have that power which God allowed him to have. Therefore, if Michael had come against Satan by his own choice, Michael would have, in essence, been going against God himself. If God ordained that Satan have power, then who was Michael the archangel to try to take that power away from him? Yet it is this very thing that humans have been doing since the foundation of the earth. It started in the Garden of Eden and has continued since. Mankind is in the process of learning obedience until he recognizes that there is no power but of God, and recognizes that we will never figure out all the reasons God has for his commandments, and until we still submit ourselves to authority, knowing that all authority is given by God. No, the decisions of supervisors and presidents and husbands and parents the world wide over are much less than perfect. But when we practice obedience in a state of humbleness, even when we recognize the poor decisions of our leaders, we are bringing glory to God. By our humbleness, by our submission to authority, we are demonstrating our trust that God knows what He's doing. In this life, if we expect to have life eternal, then we must learn obedience. We cannot remain just negative people, complaining about everyone else's decisions. We must come to the place where we recognize God's complete power and authority over all things and all people, and learn to submit ourselves unto Christ. We will not be held responsible for the poor decisions of our leaders, but we will be held responsible for refusing to be beheaded. It is only by removing our own headship and allowing Jesus Christ to be our head that we will finally learn what obedience is all about. You see, if we only obey authority after we have determined that they have made the right decisions, then we actually haven't obeyed authority at all. What we've actually done is that we have obeyed our own minds and followed our own convictions, and therefore we have only obeyed our own authority. The only way we can actually be obedient to authority is to obey that authority without second-guessing it. If we fall into the trap of submitting to authority only after we approve of the decisions, then essentially we will be doing exactly the same thing Satan did by following his own head instead of submitting himself to God's perfect authority.